Hello everyone, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button and I'm back with a slow stitch. So yeah, we have this bird that I am loving. It's in a messenger style bag that's been made from a pair of trousers. So we're just going to have a look at it and add some more layers, I think, because we have, if you notice this, it's all layered up with stitching. There's bits of doily, there's this button, it's got wool, and it started out life looking like this. So I don't want to, because I quite like the watercolour more than I liked it in the bird. The bird was very brown. I do like kind of some of the colours in the watercolours that we've got here, but I want to sort of embellish it, and as this looks so lovely and layered, and I might add some more bits on, you never know. I thought I would do that for the branches and the stuff. So I thought the first thing I was going to add on is I have these flowers. So these are applique flowers that I cut off a bag, no, not a bag, a dress that I bought from a charity shop. And I kind of want it. Can I get... I doubled my desk space from the beginning of the year, but I never quite have enough room. I suspect wherever I was, that would be the case. Okay. So I kind of want to have, and I can always trim, I think I probably will trim a bit of that off. I want extra twiggage. Do I want that to go? I don't want it to go that way, even though that's where it wants to go. I want it to lay. Oh, it could go just there, just underneath. Yeah, I like that. So I want that to be like that. Let's trim this off. We're just going to tack it down, and then we might start with some wool. And then I've got some more. And this can be a little bit drapey now. It can almost be like a vine. Let's do it that way. See, what's that one like? That might be better. Ooh. I think I like that. Turn it that way. Yes, I do. Oh, I'm going to start my timer. I want to give myself 30 minutes. Again, it's the end of my working day. And I had a busy day today. I had like clients and a meeting at the end of the day. Do I want one there? Can I do? But I might put that on after. Right, I'll put that to one side. Right, let's just get some thread. I had some grey. What did I do with that grey? Oh, there's my thimble. Doesn't have to be grey, it can be this brown. Let's have this brown. So how are you? Is it the end of your day, or is it the beginning of your day? I never really know. I know some people have mentioned like they've had their breakfast and they've watched my video as they've been having their breakfast, and that is one of the times I watch YouTube. Is that beginning of the day before I start work. Sometimes if I don't have a lot of like appointments and I'm writing notes and stuff, or have a, sorry for the building noise, I actually have it on in the background. Yeah, and I go to sleep to an audiobook that I have off YouTube. Like a sleepy story. If somebody else is talking, I can't talk, so I can sleep. Right, we know we want that one there. We're literally just tacking this thing on. I don't want it to be like a big... It's not going to do the big whip stitch. I just want to tack it on. So we're not going to be as meticulous as we were with the other things. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not using the net. I actually think I want to trim off this net. I think I made my yarn a bit strong, too long. But I'm not going to worry. This is not a worrying exercise. And I am sure we will get to a point where it'll be more manageable quite quickly. So I'm just putting random stitches in, and I plan to go over this applique either with some wool or some of my other sort of embroidery threads, just sort of so it doesn't matter if the odd brown stitch is showing up in these flowers. That's what I'm saying basically. They just have to be tacked on. Can't believe it's Wednesday. I feel like the week has just flown away from me, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, time flies. Okay. Let's put this down. Where do I want it to lie? Oh, my computer's finally shut up. I have been doing a little bit every day on Slow Stitch September. So I have a rough kind of idea of how things are going to go. I'm going to tweak it, send it to Carol over at Journal Eclectique and see what she thinks about it. And then we will tell you guys all about it. Yeah, there's other things in the pipeline. I still haven't looked at the giveaway. I do have a bit of a quandary about the giveaway. And about tariffs. I don't know if I don't want you to get a bill if you get a gift and then you get a big bill. That becomes a bit self-defeating. So I don't know how to handle that. I've been doing some reading and stuff, and because of the unpredictability of the post, and because I hadn't, like, before I realised how it would affect, or how it could affect things, if I'd sort of knew that at the beginning of the challenge, I would have set it up slightly differently. But like the scheduling in my head about how when I was going to announce these things, I wasn't going to rush, because I was going to wait until the middle of the month. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know whether, I don't know. I guess it doesn't, I need to just do the draw, and then I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, because there might not be anybody who's affected who it comes through. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that would be good. And I think things will settle down. I think it's only initially like a certain cut-off point, and then there's like this sort of one-off arbitrary charge, and it's quite a lot of money. And like I said, I don't want you to get hit with it. And everybody, we have duty taxes. It's not a political statement. It's I don't want you to have a negative experience statement. That's what I'm trying to say. But we'll see. I mean, it could be that I just delay you actually, like sending the package off, or I send you something different later on. I guess that's probably something that would be negotiated. Yeah, I think that's probably how I'd do it. I'm not quite sure if it's all packages, because if it's all packages, then yeah, that's an issue. But if they're not including gifts, if they're sort of, but I don't know how they would do it. I think it is all packages from what I've read. I don't know. If you're living in the States and you have a better handle on it, can you let me know about the tariff situation? You know, like if you were to receive a parcel from the UK, currently, because like I said, I know about this, or I've read about this one-off charge, but I don't know. It's not my country, so I don't know. I'd know if it was the other way around. Okay. Okay. I think we're nearly there. The wool would come over. I think that'll be alright. I won't need to add an extra bit in. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, do I need to add a little bit in? So yeah, building noise. It is the sound of the summer. We have sort of said the next house we get, we don't want to buy a house that's on a main road. And I don't think we want to live in another terraced house, not be so close. How many terraced houses have I lived in? Do you know, I think I've only lived in 2. What's that? No, I lived in 3. So in the 90s, for not very long, it was a few months, I lived in a terraced house with a friend, and the house either side of it was empty, so it was a terraced house, but it wasn't like living in a terraced house. We basically got really cheap rent, so that somebody was living in this terrace, this row of terraces, whilst they were waiting to redevelop them. Which was fun, because we could paint it all silly colours and they weren't bothered. So I lived that, and then when I graduated from university, I moved to a commuter town just outside of London, and I lived in a shared house there, and that was in a modern terrace. It was like a townhouse. It was 3 stories high, and yeah, but it was a terrace, and you could hear noises from neighbours, so I'm sure they could hear noises from us. And we were all, because we were young and stuff, and we had parties, and there was like on one side was just another young fella on his own, so he wasn't bothered about our noise, but we did have a family on the other side, and we used to tell them we're going to have a party, but we'll be quiet by this time, and that was alright. Them were the days. In fact, I remember when Lily was little, we were living in Cambridge, and the house next door to us was a semi-detached. That's like I don't know what you call a semi-detached in other parlances, but yeah, we were in a semi-detached house, which is 2 houses together, and they were going to have a party. It was a young girls all sharing a house together, who were lovely, really, really sweet. And they're like, oh, we're going to have a party for New Year's Eve. So we actually booked a hotel room. And the only hotel rooms that were available we didn't want to be in the city centre. We wanted to be out in the countryside so that we wouldn't, we had a little kid. We didn't want her to be up all night with her revelling. Was a bird sanctuary. And the room wasn't that nice. But it was so much fun to wake up in the morning, and we were in this bird sanctuary, And obviously nobody lives on this. We were the only people, and there was all these owls, and there were some Harry Potter owls. All these like animals in their like birds in their aviaries. You could wander around and have a look. That was quite fun. I don't know how I got onto that, but that was a nice reminisce. Got some lovely pictures. It was an adventure. I think I want this to go off slightly. Yeah, that looks nice. Might plan some other things and just tack some other things on before I get to the wool. How are we up to for time? 12 minutes. And it is slow stitch, but you can just have a short amount of time to slow stitch. I think I've said this before, and it might have even been whilst I was making this bag, that like I used to do little tiny things at work just because I just love it. I've always loved slow stitching. I've always loved making bits and pieces. Hand stitching. And I'm not very accomplished. You know, I don't know all the fancy stitches. But I do enjoy it. And I think you can do things very simply. You don't need all the things. I mean, you could become a craft hoarder like me and have a lot of things, but you don't really need it. I want to show that with Slow Stitch September, actually, that even though I will be using my supplies and, you know, have a lot of supplies, that you could do it with like some old clothes. Things don't have to be all the amazing, you know, old fabrics and stuff. Don't have to have all the things. And sometimes not having all the things makes you more creative. My mum used to have a saying which was, necessity is the mother of all invention, and it's very true. So you probably could be more creative by limiting yourself to just a few things. Although it's nice to have things too. I've not done those flowers, but they're attached, so I'm not going to worry, and I didn't do those because it's just a tack. Okay. Now, I feel like I do want do I want to start with some wool? I think I do. I might just put some greens down. Let's turn it back round. Let's turn it back round, and I want to get some green wool. I've got this, which is not wool, it's crochet cotton. That's nice and thick. And the right kind of colours. I don't know if that is. So I get my wools from the charity shop, or I very rarely buy new wool. In fact, I did buy some new wool, but it wouldn't work on here. It's all multicoloured. Oh, it might work soon. That was from the range. But I very rarely buy new stuff. That's too much like the background. That could work. That's too similar. I've got embroidery flosses as well. Should we start putting some of this down? I think so. I think that'll be nice. I mean, I use this to bind junk journals as well as slow stitch. I wouldn't do it with these wools. I wouldn't buy in a junk journal with these wools, but I would with this cotton. Use that same needle. I know what make I'm going to do for October. I made a witch's hat last year, like a little witch's hat that I made. You know, like you can get cheapy Halloween costumes, and I found one in a charity shop, and I thought, oh, I could remake that and make it like really kind of like cottagecore-y. So I've got a purse. I've actually got it here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to make it bigger and rounder. And use the same fabrics so that they go together. They look like a little two-piece. I don't think I'll ever use them because I'm kind of past the costume party thing. But I think they just might be nice things to have. Well, the bag might be useful. The little witchy hat I don't think I'll use. Now, do I want to just use... I think I just want one length of this. I don't want it doubled up. So again, I've cut too much off. It's not do as I do, it's do as I say. But yeah, so supplies. I think supplies, again, this is a slow craft. It's not a craft. And I would argue junk journaling is as well, that it's not something that you just go and buy a load of stuff and then you start. It's about finding things. That's all part of it. And so, you know, I would argue that that's what it is for for slow stitch as well, that it's a slow craft. It takes time. I think I'm going to need... I thought that needle would be big enough. Yeah, it is. We'll see. I've got some little pliers in this little purse, actually. Some other bits and pieces. So if we need, we can use some pliers. I've got my thimble. I think we might have a session. I just need to get in the garage and find some leather making a thimble. I much prefer a leather thimble, and this is one that I bought, but I've had it... How long have I had this? I think I've had it 10 years. It's lasted a while. I mean, it's getting a little bit... It's double leather, so it's quite thick there. Yeah. Now, how am I going to play this? Let's go in here. Come out here. Oh, I don't know if it'll like that. Might not like that. Shall we see? I need to change the needle to a fake needle. All part of the journey. Where's those pliers? And I also think slow stitch, it's not about technique, because clearly my technique's off today. It's about like creating something that soothes. For me, it's always about soothing. I have anxiety. My anxiety was so bad last night. And you know, you kind of have to work your way through that anxiety and do things that soothe. And I remember, and there's no rhyme or reason with anxiety. I just felt anxious. I think for me it might be a bit hormonal. I've got like endometriosis and stuff like that, I think. And I know I was having some other symptoms, so I think it's all tied up. There's reasons, the myriad reasons why people have anxiety. So I ended up last night before I went to bed just doing some fussy cutting, and you know, it worked a trick. That and my audiobook worked a trick. Now, I'm not a therapist, so I can't tell you that that's what you should do. But I'm just saying that these types of things are what helps soothe me and my anxiety. So where are we up to on that time? 22 minutes. We're not going to get very far with our half an hour. But actually I think we have. And actually that's part of it, isn't it? We're not going to get very far. This is slow stitching. And I'm going to get a different needle because this is frustrating me. I don't want to be frustrated. I want to be relaxed. I could just use my... Just go straight in with that. That's probably the best way to do it. For another couple of minutes. So if you're new to slow stitch, or you might be, because I know some people watch my videos who just watch the slow stitch videos, so you don't watch the junk journal videos, and I know other people don't watch the slow stitch videos, or they might watch it but they don't actually do any slow stitching. What do you think? What do you do to soothe yourself? Do you need to? You might not need to, you see. Not everybody. We all don't. We have shared experiences, but they're not the same experiences. So yeah, what do you do? Which I'm really interested. It's funny that the meeting I had before, like it was last end of the day meeting, we were discussing about motivational interviewing. And I find that topic fascinating because really it's nosiness, it's professional nosiness. And I thought, yeah, I am nosy. I'm curious. And I was thinking, like, at the end of this conversation, I thought, I'm really curious about the people who watch my videos. Yeah, so that's why I think I'd like to, have conversations, find out more about you. Certainly, what sort of things would you like to see from the channel? I'd really love that. I'm developing a sense of like what I want to do with the channel and how many slow stitch videos and how many junk journal videos. And I want to eventually kind of there be some sort of parity so that there are, a balance of both. But also, like, the mental health thing's really important to me, so I kind of want to have that as well. And, like, dealing with creative blockages and stuff like that. Kind of, because there's been times where I've had a blockage and had to work out what the barriers are. And I think I've talked about that before when I've talked about, like, even the channel. Like how the channel came about. So I'd like to do videos on stuff like that as well. But yeah, let me know. I'm always curious. And obviously I could just put videos out on things I want to talk about, but that's not the point, is it? I want to inspire and build a community. And yeah, what do you think about the community tab? Because I would love to see your makes, and so there is a community tab that I've enabled so that you can post photographs over there. So if you've made something, if you started slow, and I think with Slow Stitch September, certainly I would love to see it. So whether you're a junk journaler or a slow stitcher, whatever kind of whatever floats your boat, that would be a space where you could show your stuff. No, that'd be easier because I've just gone. That was easier. So this is just a first layer of the wools. And this is how I did the bird actually. And I will, because I'm developing my playlists, I will try and put these into a playlist so that you can go back and see like how I started the bird. And I've got a Christmassy one, a robin. I don't think I'll work some of it on around Christmas time, but I'm sure there'll be other slow stitches. Like I think I want to make baubles. I actually don't think it'll be that difficult to make Christmas baubles. That would be nice. I did gingerbread men last year, and that's something I've done workshops and stuff with before. But even like I messaged somebody who does like locally does a workshop. I was like, could I come and film for my YouTube channel if I come to your workshop? Not to film what they do, to steal what they do, but just, you know, a little. This is what an arty get together was like that I went to. I haven't heard back from them yet. Probably need to clarify what I meant by that. Right, we're at 27 minutes, so I'm going to call it rather than leave it, and then we will see what we've done, and then you get a sense of how we're starting it. I think it's going to be really nice when I've done it. I think that if I build all of this up the way I've built that up, I don't think I will need. I'm going to do some words. I'm going to stitch some words. I'm going to think of the words I could put on that would have meaning. Because I think our slow stitch does tell a story, and words are included in that. I mean, art tells a story, and I believe what I do is art, you know, because it is part of my story. So it's kind of part of how I'm processing the world. That's what art is. So, yeah, but that's what I've done. I've kind of just started on this leaf. I think I'll be doing that on all of the leaves, even this one here. And then have I got leaves on the back? Because I've got plenty of this wool, but I will be putting leaves on the back. That's it, because I've got some more cut out. And this was all from one page of a sample book page, just by cutting the elements out and making them part of what I want to do. So yeah, I will be making the branches grow. I've got a little birdie here that might get this treatment. I've just started, and that's a good example actually. That's how I started putting this bird together. There will be a video. There is a video, and I'll link it. So that's kind of the first stage, was just going over initially the markings that were on. Can you see they were all browns? And I just was like, I don't want the browns. I want colours I like, and I do like a blue and a purple. So yeah, I like the flowers. I think the flowers has added something to it. We've actually done quite a bit, really. We've got the composition sorted. I don't feel that... I was thinking, I don't feel I need to add anything else. I don't think what I'm saying is I don't feel I need to add any more branchy bits. I do feel, so I want to go over all of this with wool and build it up. And then I think I want to go over these with wools as well, if I can find a colour that would do. But if not, I've got buttons. I could put buttons over. It doesn't have to be. And then words. Don't know what the words would be. I have to think about it. Give me some suggestions. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little half an hour ramble, half an hour slow stitch. Slow can be incremental. It can be short spaces of time. You can still do slow things and get that sense of accomplishment, even if you just cut some things up for half an hour and then put them to one side. Sit and have a plan of something. Just do your initial cutting up. Looking through your resources. You can take things down and break them down to small little steps, and eventually it'll come together. Okay, I will talk to you soon. If you found value, I would love it if you subscribed. Hit the little bell, like, comment, all the YouTubey things that are helping this little channel grow. Yeah, I'm really amazed with everyone. So thank you very much. I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.